Can artificial intelligence help you win in fantasy baseball? That is what we will try to find out. Unless you've been living under a rock or some technophobic Luddite, in which case you're probably not watching YouTube anyways, you've heard of Chatgpt. This is the new AI that is changing the game, really. You can use it to write essays, you can use it to come up with clever YouTube titles, or for what is really important, win at fantasy baseball. I've been giving my favorite sleepers and breakout picks so far this preseason, but I wanted to put it to the test and see what it could come up with. So I hopped in there and I asked it, who are the top sleepers for 2023 fantasy baseball? And what it gave me was basically a non-answer. It likes to qualify everything it gives you with a lot of, well, as an AI language model, I do not have personal opinions or biases. I didn't ask you for your opinion. I want an answer. So instead, it gave me a bunch of strategies on how to find sleepers after a lengthy explanation of what a sleeper is or isn't. Now, I did get it to eventually give me a list of names, but it actually had some good insight as far as strategies. Number one, look for players who had a down year in 2022, but have a track record of success. That makes sense. Checks out. Guys who maybe just had a bad season, injury. Not sure if I'm ready to go all in on Cody Bellinger because he's had a bad couple of years, but generally speaking, this is sound advice. Number two, keep an eye on young players who are expected to have expanded roles. This is logic that checks out. It specifically identified Wander Franco. Gee, I wonder if anybody's thought of him as a good breakout candidate before. Jared Kelenic, who it's definitely too early to give up on, and Julio Rodriguez. Okay, maybe you're too late on that one, Chatgpt. Number three, look for players switching teams in the offseason. I usually try to avoid players trying to adjust to new teams, new clubs, because sometimes it works in the opposite way. Also doesn't help that it listed 3 players then who switched teams last year. And number 4, something that every fantasy baseball manager knows, look for guys who finish strong with good second halves to the season. This time it's telling me about Tyler O'Neill, Adolis Garcia, and Tyler Stevenson. Again, I think he's a little late on these. Is it a he? Is it a she? Now, I wasn't satisfied with this because I'm looking for a list. I tried completely rearranging my phrase by saying, who are the best sleepers in fantasy baseball for 2023? And voila, a different answer. Let's see if Chatgpt can pick some winners and whether I agree. First up is Vidal Brujan of the Tampa Bay Rays. This actually seems like a pretty good pick. He has not had success at all in the majors so far. We're talking about a guy who hit 163 last year, and that was in 162 plate appearances. So not talking about just a cup of coffee here. But the appeal with Brujan is speed. He's got it. Someone who has stolen 55, 48, and 44 bases in full minor league seasons. If he can just get on base, he's just got to do his part to earn that regular playing time. But I like this pick as a late last round flyer, guy who can play second base or outfield. You need speed, you're in a roto league. This is a pretty good sleeper. The second pick, I don't know about this one. Garrett Hampson, no longer with the Rockies. This is a guy who's now 28 years old, tested free agency, and landed in the minors. The Marlins, whose sole mission this offseason seems to be stockpiling as many middle infielders as possible, have Garrett Hampson now in their system, and he's probably going to start out the season with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. That's right, there is a minor league team called the Jumbo Shrimp. Wear this baby, you'll fit right in on the Gulf Coast of Florida, I'm telling you. You know, Hampson might have success because he raked in the minors for years. In the major leagues, not so much. A career .235 hitter, couldn't hit in Colorado. Why would he hit in South Florida? Next, they went with Tyler O'Neill, a guy you could say, well, he's not really a sleeper. He's already had his breakout season, but I think now come full circle because after that great 2021, especially second half finish where he became the best pickup maybe of the entire season, wound up with 34 home runs, 80 RBIs, 15 steals, and 89 runs scored. He turned out to be kind of a bust. Now, the numbers tell you that the power and speed are still there, but the average went down, the ground ball rate went up, injuries were part of it. I think O'Neill is actually a decent pick, but I don't know if I'd call him a sleeper because you're still going to get him in the middle round. So I get where GPT is going with this one, but I don't think it counts. Number 4 gives us James Caprillion of the A's. I think one look at his StatCast page will tell you all you need to know. Come on, AI, do better. Now, I love this next pick, and that's Jonathan India. You know, another guy similar to O'Neill who had a big year, high-end prospect coming up, and looked like he was going to help across every category, and then flopped miserably last season. I think we can chalk this one up to injuries because he hurt his hammy early in May, and that affected him throughout the season. The hard hit rate was way down, and he didn't really help you at all. In fact, became droppable by mid-year. But this is somebody, if I can get at a discount and slot in at second base, I'm going to do it because I know that the talent is still there, just needs to put it together for a full season, and I think he can. This next one is very intriguing. AJ Puck, now with the Marlins. The Marlins traded for Puck, and they gave up their former top pick, JJ Bleday, in order to get him. Is that a case of giving up on a hitter, or is it because they really coveted this left-handed flamethrower in the bullpen? Puck is a guy, former top prospect. You know that he has just had trouble staying on the mound. Last year, he was able to do it for the most part, and he had 3.12 ERA, a solid 27% K rate, could go up, and his walk rate keeps going down. Could he be the Marlins closer and maybe get you 30 saves? This is the quintessential pick for those speculating on saves late, don't want to grab a closer early. Well done, AI. At number 7, getting a little deeper here, what about Luis Patino? Also a former high-end prospect like Puck, just hasn't been able to stay healthy for an extended period of time. Through all of 20 innings last year, and they were ugly. 8.10 ERA, 195 whip. Although he's still super young, it seems like there's a lot of rust that still needs to be shaken off. I mean, this is beyond risky. This is, I'm stashing him and hoping for the best by midseason. And the thing is, he's probably not even going to start the season in the majors, and I don't even think he'll be in the rotation. So you're hoping for some middle relief help. There's deep sleepers, and then there's just total shots in the dark. But I can't tell you how much I love this next pick, Alex Kirilloff of the Twins. I know we keep talking about guys who can't stay healthy. Well, here you go, a power hitter who has wrist issues. Those two things don't go together. But if he can stay in the lineup, this guy legit has 30 home run upside. In fact, if I put together a list of my guys I'm trying to draft at value in every fantasy baseball draft, Kirilloff is going to be on them. And if there were a pick that would make me fear the artificial intelligence is in fact scanning my brain, it would be this one. Adbert Alzolay is a guy who was all over before last season. He had his season basically wiped out by injury, a shoulder strain during spring training, and didn't appear until September. But this is a guy who can get strikeouts in bunches. If he can stay in this rotation, absolutely love his upside. And the last name that Chatgpt spit out at me was Ha-Seong Kim of the Padres. My reaction to this one was, sure, it's nice he qualifies at multiple positions in the middle infield on a good team. Little speed, little power, but that's the problem is he's little and gives you a little bit of everything. You're not going to get a lot of anything. Late in the draft, fill your bench, nice utility player, sure. But I want some more upside with my sleepers. So how did ChatGPT do in identifying sleepers for the season? Overall, I give it about a B-. There's no way you can talk me into even considering Garrett Hampson or James Caprillion. I don't think Tyler O'Neill really counts as a sleeper based on where he's being drafted. The rest are either prime bounce back candidates or guys who just need to catch a break, get some extended playing time, and stay healthy. And the bigger lesson here is if you ask it a question and you don't get the answer you want, just ask again in a different way. And if you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend trying sarcastic mode when you ask it how to win at fantasy sports.